The heck you talking about? I am half the man you are. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails, a Grand Arena story, guys. We are at the start of week 3 of this 3v3 season, and this is the final match before everything gets nerfed. So we're gonna go through it. I'm gonna just discuss all of the things manually, or whatever you want to call it. Like, I'm going to do it in person as opposed to just taking clips from the stream. And my opponent actually puts a really tricky defense down. I wasn't really prepared for a lot of the teams that they placed, and that's to their credit, certainly. They also were really cool and attacked at least a few of my squads in the front zone. At the bottom zone, they beat all the teams in the bottom zone just so that I could stream without having to worry about anything, without them like stream sniping, so to speak. I kind of hate that aggressive word, but people do that. So it's kind of a bittersweet video for me, guys. This is the end of an era. We're going to see a change here. I've already seen the change. I'm going to describe what's happening here with everything in hindsight. So it's a little bit sad. But before we go into that, guys, I just want to say huge shout out to all of my patrons. You guys are amazing. Don't have the graphic up yet for that. I'm sorry to say it's taking way longer than I want to. Also want to say a huge shout out and thank you to all my subs on and supporters on Twitch. You guys are also amazing. And finally, everyone on YouTube who's been clicking that like button and everything, leaving comments, trying to get me on the algorithm, hitting sub. Really appreciate that. Trying to make the channel big. We just hit 6,000 subs, actually, guys. So thanks so much for that. Let's get to the fighting, as our friend Gig would say. Alright, so they have a Kenobi team up top. Why don't we rewind just a tiny bit? See what's going on here. Hold on. There we go. Grievous team with Jango and B1. Really tricky team. They have a Kenobi team with another Kenobi and 3PO. They have a full Commander Luke team. They also have the Jedi, or the full Darth Revan team, which isn't optimized for modding, but I mean mine isn't either. So, and then there's a General Skywalker team, which is interesting because Gideon, you would think would be good because he reduces the damage taken, but it also disrupts the magic that is 501st and makes it so that if I hit them, they can't hit me back, which is my kind of equation. So that front zone, though, a lot of tricky teams. And up top here, that I don't remember what's up top. I mean, the things that you guys can see, I apparently cut that off. That's nothing that interesting. The top is pretty bland, I believe. Maybe we'll find out that I'm a liar here in just a minute. But there's a few of these fights, guys, that get kind of sketchy. I'm excited to explore them with you. Now, the first one I wanted to do was this Thrawn team Vader's the main one. And remember, this is pre-nerf, so Vader's still hitting really hard, very truck-like, very truculently. And yeah, so we've got this going on here. Hold on, folks. I need to change this watermark. There we go. All right. Hold on. Life is hard. Okay. Here's the deal with this fight, folks. So what you need to do is in this situation, my Thrawn was just a little bit faster than Darth Revan and Basti and Malak. So Thrawn, if you can just fracture Basti right at the start, it takes a lot of pressure off of you. So Thrawn's gonna go fracture Basti, Darth Revan's gonna go, he'll fear L3 and Thrawn both, and then Darth Vader needs to try to kill Darth Revan on his first culling blade. That's how this works. And so we got the fracture off. That's wonderful. Merciless Massacre, do our debuffs, turn it to 1x speed, do 200k damage. Goodbye, 200k damage. I will miss you a lot from Vader. Vader does do some decent damage on his basic, though, so yay. It's like, hey, my kid got a B in class. Like, yay. I don't know. You just you don't feel like you should be grateful for it or something. So, you know, you don't realize how precious it is until you find out that your friend's kid is just failing out every time, and you're like, wow, my kid is actually at least average intelligence as opposed to your kid who sucks. So anyways, I mean, I've done this a couple times now. All you got to do, you just ratchet Malak in slowly. You want to feed that protection to L3, make sure that she is taunting, and you want to make sure she's taunting, because when Malak force drains her, she's going to be taking a lot of damage, obviously, but she has more protection than health, so you can kind of, over time, just beat her. I don't know. Gosh, that wasn't that much. See, now I'm spoiled for all the basics that Vader does. But anyways, now you can see L3 can't taunt anymore. She is tapped out, and it's going to be rough. See, now all she has available is her basic, and we're open to the vindictive ministrations of Malak. But he very shortly thereafter fell victim to my vicious ministrations. Ministrations? Definitely not menstruations. All right, we're taking the Bando Han Chewie team, and I don't know. My buddy Solo Base is saying that this does not work anymore, and well, I'll have to test it for myself because it makes me sad. Now, I did kind of struggle a little bit here with my target priorities. I was like, ooh, let's shoot 5s. Oh, no, let's kill Gideon because he's having our damage. And at the end of the day, I decided, no, we're gonna go back to 5s here, because we need to be able to take him out a little bit quicker, so that we can actually work on General Skywalker getting killed. And it just so happened that my whistling birds came to a place where where they stood foot to foot, face to face. Sorry, I have kids. We do the Dr. Seuss stuff, but it happened to be. Let me just address the final part of this. I apologize for wasting your time with the Seuss, but I was able to kill both of them with whistling birds. Skywalker stood up, and I was able to take him out for decent banners. Now, this Commander Luke team, this gets a little dicey. This is scary because they gain a lot of turn meter if we resist things. And what do you think we have? We're only the best at resisting things ever because we have tenacity up. And with that's Jolie, it's like a double. He's like almost a walking tenacity up on a stick. That's like maybe the dumbest comparison I've ever done. But you can see I put the foresight up, hoping that if they did shoot at me, that at least Commander Luke would miss. But okay, they just triggered Savior. So if they now focus down Jolie, I will have no choice but to lose. Well, at least to lose Jolie. Take out Chewie first, because he's the one giving guard to everyone, and now we can actually do things like stun and crit them. It's quite wonderful. I'm glad that they didn't nerf Chewie. That would have been sad. I would have been a sad panda. So we're just taking out Luke now, and we should be good. 51. I know a lot of people target Luke first and ignore Han, and I'm like, why not just kill Luke real easily? Now, I do have 4 Galactic Legends here. Or why not kill Han real easily? Okay, so I have 4 Galactic Legends, and I'm like, okay, all of our off metas have worked so far. All of our really tough teams have just kind of been taken out really easily, and so I didn't know what to do against this Jango Grievous team. This is definitely an anti-Mothra team. I was like, you know what? We have the teams. I'm not worried. I wanted Supreme Leader Kylo available to be able to take out his General Kenobi team, but his Kenobi is just sitting there front and center, and so I don't need Kylo to be able to do that. And therefore, we're just going to take him out, take out this Grievous team, get 55, and then I can use my own Kenobi team, because we don't have to worry about Cat and who's going first and all of that madness. We can just take out his Kenobi or his General Kenobi. We're taking Wrecker here just because we needed a Galactic Republic tank, and he matches that. He's not modded very well yet. I'm working on a video about modding for Bad Batch, but it's not ready yet. It's essentially just make Echo fast and then button mash. It's basically just that, maybe slightly more complex. But anyways, this team is decent. I was thinking actually this might be the team that counters, like, okay, so you guys know how the Supreme Leader Kylo team works with Zombie and Old Daka or Acolyte or whoever, and it's all predicated on Kylo, Supreme Leader Kylo, getting advantage to Zombie, and then Zombie just taunting forever, and the Kenobi team just saying, oh hey, there's a taunt, let's attack it. I'm drawn irresistibly to the candle of your taunt. And so what, like, you can just go, you're like, wow, my Kylo would not have stood up to this kind of barrage. Like, there's no way he would have lived through this, but he's living through it now because they just keep hitting stupid Zombie instead. And so that works, but I have to wonder, is this 3PO team actually the one that beats, like their intent is to try taking it out? Here, I'm just not sure. One would think, though, that it's not translation, it's confusion from 3PO would negate the taunt. Like, he couldn't gain advantage, and therefore would negate the taunt a little bit, and then maybe they would select Kylo as their target. I don't know. This seems like kind of like an anti-Kylo comp, but as it stands, it wasn't an anti-Kenobi Cat comp. Wow, that was kind of good alliteration. And we can move through to the back zone without too much suspense. Now, they didn't put any more Galactic Legends back here, which surprised me a little bit. I thought that they'd have more. It also meant that I would need to be pretty efficient. So, I'll show you guys my defense in a little bit, but he did fail some at the start. I actually, now off the top of my head, I forgot what exactly happened. I've actually fought another GAC since then. But we're trying, so this Jedi Luke team is good. Remember, this is pre-nerf, but the problem is he put one really weak link character, and none of these guys are fast. So I just took my Dark Trooper in and punched Ayla right in the face, then punched Ahsoka right in the face, and then Luke also got punched in the face. Lots, sounds like a country song, but now we're using Bad Batch here. Like I said, it's just button mashing at its finest. All you have to do is have a fast echo, and it's actually kind of nice. If Dooku goes first, it's actually nice if there's a really fast one, because then he gives everyone a buff, and you can dispel all those buffs for additional turn meter from the rest of these guys. So all we're doing here, guys, the first move is to give daze and expose to everyone, daze and something to everyone, and then Tech goes, he stuns everyone who has daze, and then Hunter goes, he ends the turn to Echo. Echo calls Hunter to assist, and Hunter just goes crazy, throws 2 knives, and he has an unlimited supply of knives apparently, even though he's on the run, and it's probably not something that you can just easily replenish. So anyways, having B2 here, the only way we're even like remotely possibly in this fight still, because they have Geobrood Alpha here alongside these other characters. Like, this is an expensive team actually for how bad it is. We have to be pretty careful here, but the only way it works is if you have that daze on B2. You need that daze. Now, of course, Echo's a pretty vital component to this team anyway, so you're probably not going to wander into this fight without that, but just want to point out, B2 can be such a menace if you don't have the right tools to deal with him. So, we beat him. Now, oh gosh, okay, so this one is crazy. It's Basti, and I apparently did the math wrong. I thought that they couldn't debuff me, or at least I thought that Basti was going to be like 10% to be able to get any debuffs on me. I mean, old Ben can get debuffs on me, but that doesn't do, like, you can't get tenacity down on me from any of these guys. But as you'll see, Basti consistently stuns me. Maybe I got bad RNG. You can see I almost died there. Relic 7 Nest almost died to Basti and Old Ben. Granted, they both have been trained by the Master, so that's something. But so the theory behind this team is that Nest, over time, they generate so many buffs that over time her crit damage just skyrockets and she's able to just one-shot them and get through all their mountain of bonus protection and everything. And so we're targeting Basti first, and she is just not taking, like, she's just healing too much. Hoda heals the bonus protection, I believe, until it's gone, and then he can't heal it anymore. So, you know, it replenish. Is there a T in there? Replenishes. I don't think there's a T there. This segment brought to you by the letter T, or not. It actually isn't. So at some point, folks, I mean, we're going at a decent clip here, I think. Yeah, okay, I sped it up again just because it takes a while. I decided at some point to start hitting Old Ben instead of Basti, because it seemed like whenever I hit him, he didn't heal as quickly and stuff. So I mean, we're still getting stunned and everything. They're still generating every single buff. It just seems like I should be doing way more damage by now, because this Nest has a lot of offense on it. Granted, it's mostly tenacity, but offense offense arrow and all of that. So don't know what's going on here. Put it on auto again. We're less than 2 minutes to go. And it looks like I haven't really made much progress. They could stun lock me and kill me at any point. This has become far scarier than I thought it would be. I thought that after 3 minutes that it would be in the bag, but it was starting to look like at least I would be able to kill Kenobi. So that would have been nice, and in fact it was nice. Look at that, Old Ben, he's good. He gone. We got 1 minute and 10 seconds left, and Basti is still not taking too much damage. Okay, there we go. So and then she hits me with a big hit and another big hit. I got a stun in the middle, and that's pretty scary. So my math is clearly wrong. Like, she just got whatever she wanted. I don't know. Is that, maybe she has a potency up thing that I've just totally missed. Maybe Old Ben has an interaction. I have so many interactions in this game. I'm embarrassed if I missed it, but there it is, guys. We got a 55. It was scary, though. All right, so now I knew I wasn't going to get max banners for this one, but my opponent had failed a little bit, and I wanted to defeat. And so the idea was we take Night Sisters here, and it's all natives of Dathomir, I believe is how they frame it. So anyone who is from Dathomir, which is a planet in the EU and in the Clone Wars, but any team that is any characters that are from Dathomir, the planet, you have to get 6 total kills with them. So a little bit tough, not too tough. It's over the course of 2 weeks, but what we're trying to do is just knock them out early against an opponent whose teams are kind of weird enough that maybe we can pull it off. And Night Sisters are so crazy resilient. We only got 50 banners, but we did get 3 of our 6 kills, and we can move on. So, all right, we've got Basti and KAM. That's the namesake of this video. And you guys saw recently I put out a video of Bastila and Ki-Adi-Mundi and Hoda doing some work, and yeah, there are just a really good team. So I would say that this Bando team is on the very edge of what is realistically possible. You'll see that there's a lot of close calls here in the fight. We only have one way to dispel IG's buffs. I mean, he kind of falls off of taunt after a while anyways, but you can see Ki-Adi-Mundi had to do a basic, and then suddenly he's in damage immunity territory, takes it, and now we're just we actually did the same to IG, and then Mando takes another turn, but puts damage immunity on IG as well. So it's a hard knock life for us, folks. We've got to we've tried and we've tried and we've tried to take this Bando out. I was thinking for a little bit maybe we just kill Kuil, but then we can't crit him, so may as well just take out Bando instead. So that's what I did, and the rest, as they say, is history. Though you guys don't actually know what happens. So Basti and Ki-Adi-Mundi do get some Master's Training. It's pretty fancy. Take out IG, take out Kuil because he can be crit now. He's like, no, if I'm crit, I die. And I'm like, I guess I'll crit you then. So I guess we're using Jedi Training Ray on something. Gosh, I don't remember what team, and I clicked on it too fast. We get a drink while we load that. Oh gosh, this is why I forgot, folks. This team, this fight is a little bit fiasco-ish. I won't tell you what the end results are, but this is a tenacity modded Thrawn and Dark Troopers on defense. I mean, it's a little sketchy to have Dark Trooper on defense because he doesn't play very well. It's awkward. He kind of just doesn't punch as much. He just does the other two things, and then sometimes he punches with his basic, whereas he should prioritize punching with his basic. So I am 100% sure I played this wrong at some point. I'm still not sure. I watched this at least one other time, and it's very difficult to tell exactly what I did wrong. We can't... Gosh, I didn't even... I think that was actually a pivotal moment, guys. I wasn't able to stun Thrawn, despite my R2-D2 being at, what? I don't know. A pretty high... Oh, yeah. He had tenacity down. So I should have been able to just stun him regardless, even though my R2 has a really high potency. So 15%, obviously. Sometimes you just fail, but... We're also not doing that much good against this Dark Trooper. Finally got him down to 2 stacks. Immediately does the AoE so that he gets his 3rd stack. Finally, Shore Trooper decides to do his thing and taunt. BB-8 dies. R2 was fractured, and now he's fractured of a different sort. And yeah, I don't know, guys. I should have checked the Thrawn tenacity first, because I couldn't land any debuffs, even though this team is actually modded to have a lot of potency. Just couldn't land them, folks, and an embarrassing loss here. I didn't really need to take it. I just thought that I'd handle it pretty easily. Clearly I didn't, so Traya's like, fine, we'll 51 our way ourselves to victory here. And this was actually dicey too. You saw how low health Traya got, and so hopefully we can actually do something. I was trying to figure out what exactly I should do with Isolate, because it'd be nice to isolate Shore Trooper, but at the same time, like, he doesn't taunt that often. Once he taunts once, then he can't for a little bit, and we have 2 different ways to dispel him anyways. Actually 3 if you count Traya, so wasn't that worried about it. Plus, we're using Nihilus here to force drain and just totally ignore the stuff. Totally ignore that taunt. Shore Trooper, probably the worst part of this team, actually. So finally got rid of Thrawn. So at the very least, we can multi-shot this, right? Like, we can find a team that can kill either Dark Trooper or Shore Trooper, and then we can take the other one out. I mean, if we find a team that beats Dark Trooper, almost certainly we beat Shore Trooper as well, unless it's a timeout situation or something. But I don't know, Dark Trooper's just making a nuisance of himself, punching me, punching everyone. It's obnoxious, but finally down to only 1 stack of him. He punches Traya. Traya chuckles a bit because his first punches were a lot stronger, and then I decided, you know what if we could get that extra banner on Scion? Wouldn't that be sweet? So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time trying to boost his protection, because you never know when you need another, an extra point here or there. There's been a few times on stream where I've been like, guys, I know this is annoying. People are like, dude, just take your 51 and run with it. And I'm like, I can get a 52, and if I can, then it's going to be really good for me. And people have mocked me derisively about this. Not really that derisive, but people don't understand until they see. Like there was one time in particular I remember with Traya, I got a 52 instead of a 51, and that ended up letting me win the match by 1 banner. So that does happen, and that's what this is now, because my opponent hadn't finished attacking yet. So we got our protection banner, and we're gonna move on. We're moving. Now this Mothra team, this is another last hurrah. I don't know, this team might still have legs, but Wampa's gonna be doing less damage. You put weapons tech on Wampa, and he ignores all the armor. Kara's like, hey, I'm wearing armor, and and Wampa's like, I have X-ray vision goggles, baby. That's what he's like. I think Wampa says things like that, actually, guys. I certainly don't. It's kind of funny to make a scenario where to quote someone who says baby when I don't know if I have ever called anyone that. So, that being said, except for actual babies, I'm like, hey, what's up, baby? When I don't know their name, stuff like that. So, I did put the good Zeta on Wampa. I'll let you guys decide which Zeta that is, but we're doing okay. Stormtrooper Han is Relic 7, and he's got that Permataunt. And that's why I think this team might have legs later down the line, because whereas it will take longer to take people out with Wampa, as long as they're not doing that much damage to Stormtrooper Han, then Wampa's just safe to just ramp up, and maybe it takes 3 minutes instead of 2, but it's still okay. So, all right, this one was one I wish I had sped up. I sped it up a little bit. It's like 1 1/4 speed. So, anyways, it's Mothra versus Night Sisters. Now, it doesn't take the full 5 minutes or whatever, and I guess it's a little bit of a spoiler, but I haven't told you guys what the results are. The thing is about this team, guys, you need to keep that ability block, or that buff immunity, sorry, on Zombie, so that every time Zombie takes a turn, she isn't taunting. Like, even though it wears off eventually and you have to reapply it, you can't just let her taunt every single time. So, obviously she didn't get it last time, but did you even get the memo, Zombie? I didn't think so. But once that happens, you can just go back to the other Night Sisters. Now, Cassian does have a debuff, and it's all he just throws like his whole like box of pills. He's like, here, I found some medication, let's like throw it at the enemy. And so he does, and it all just explodes and does things like offense down, and you can't have buffs and stuff. There are a few that are like healing immune, and I guess Daka had it for a little bit there. So that's really nice on this team, because Night Sisters can regenerate quite a bit, and as we're killing Zombie quite a bit, well, we're not really killing her that much. We're mostly just dispelling and letting her be healed, but Daka can ramp up her hit points, especially for the 5v5 version of this. I mean, it's not that hard. Honestly, like this, it takes way less time to use like the turn meter version of Mothra against this, but Cassian K2 are really nice because they do that healing immunity, and without healing immunity, it is a lot harder. Now, that's one of the reasons I love Cassian, is because healing immunity lets you do all sorts of things that you might not normally do. Like, I remember once I beat Nest. I beat Nest with Mothra team, even though you hit her so much and she builds up her bonus protection a lot. If you put enough healing immunity on her and you can stun her and all of that stuff, then she's just going to slowly, over time, just get taken out. So, as it stands, these guys are not as tricky to take out as Nest, and it only took me about 3 minutes. And the nice thing was, they didn't hit hard enough for me to actually be that worried about banners, so we coasted to a 54, which is, I would say, fairly fancy of us. So we got through the top zone. We've got Darth Revan and Padme in the back remaining. He put Executor down, and this is pre-nerf, or pre-buff on Executor now. So my own Executor is on defense. Not sure what I was going to do. But this is an important solo, guys, because this is another way to get max banners where you can. Like, so you're basically predestined to get at least a 54, even if you just mess up royally. I don't know if you can even lose this fight, in fact, if you tried, other than timing out or something. But the thing is, you can also get a 56 here. Instead of a 55, just get a 56. So the idea is you do Lifeblood a couple times so they can't get through your normal protection on their basic hits, which aren't very impressive. And then you need to heal up your health from... I don't know what else you would heal. No one makes me heal my own health. But you heal that health up, that health bar. You get it full. And then you can use your ult and get a 56. So we're to the point now that I can just pop my ult, do the hit, get a 56, and move on against a pretty tricky team. I mean, Padme's been around forever, but it can be tricky at the end when you don't have very many other good teams remaining. Now, this is another one that you could... Sith Eternal can. He has his tricks to be able to get a 56. This is not a team comp where you can really get a 56, though, because that requires you not using your ultimate, which on the surface you're like, oh, well, that's fine. You're up against Jedi. Like, you probably have some bonuses against them and stuff, but in the end, Jolee is just too important, and you can't really kill Jolee very easily. You see, my basic didn't do that much. Eventually, they're just going to heal up from... Yeah, so you don't really cause enough damage. I guess you could, like, theoretically wait. Just let them hit you, and you hit them back with basics for, I don't know, a long time, for like 4 minutes, and then really, really try, because you'd be building up your mastery and stuff, you know, all the exciting stuff. But that being said, it wasn't... I decided not to. 55 is fine. Yeah, because the other version is risky too, because you don't want to time out. Now, we're using Malevolence against Negotiator here. Negotiator has the TIE Bomber, and I was kind of worried about this. The TIE Bomber is actually a... What is it? Comp? It's a comp that... So you get target lock on someone, and it makes it so that Bomber always taunts, and then... Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, it has a good synergy with Anakin, but at the end of the day, I think what this is, all right, it's an anti-negotiator mirror match comp, and I don't ever do that comp anyways. I hate doing the mirror match. It's always been such an RNG fest, and I know that there are ways that you can kind of quote-unquote guarantee a win, but I've never really liked it. Even though I can generally do it if I have to in territory wars or whatever. So, anyways, you know, this team comp really still fails against Malevolence. And now that we have Executors, sometimes Malevolence will be available. 63 here against Negotiator, something you will always take. And now a 5-star Executor. That's why I put my own on defense, because the 5 stars actually had a huge advantage. Now it's whoever goes first has a huge advantage, and so it's a speed meta once again, and it's annoying. Now, the way you used to do this, and I hesitate, I thought about taking these ship battles out, but I wanted you guys to see it. I wanted this for posterity anyways. So you want to start the Y-Wing instead of Biggs, because it takes better hits, and you can also just dispel things with its big hit sometimes. But you have to focus down Houndstooth. Now, this is before the Executor buffs again made the Houndstooth's teeth extremely ridiculously resilient, and so I don't really know exactly what the current way to counter this is, but I wanted to tell the full story, right? Like, instead of just saying, and then I won with ships, like, we had a time period where Executor was kind of weird, and you could use Rebels to beat it. And now maybe we can still do Rebels to beat this, but it's fraught with peril, at least as of my understanding right now. So we'll be looking out for a way to beat this team, of course, over time, but I don't know what it is yet, frankly. The changes only went live a couple days ago, so and he these changes are not that, I don't know, they're not that different. Not that something. They make this, I guess what I'm trying to say, and I'm really struggling to articulate it, is these teams are, this team is really tough to beat now, but back then it wasn't that tough. We got a 67 with Rebels, and it wasn't really that scary. It was just fish in a barrel. So, that being said, guys, we got a 3308, which isn't bad. Or, sorry, a 3307. Not too bad. I'm going to show you guys my defenses now. So, let's move over there right this instant. Okay, here we are. Here's my second round opponent, McVeigh. He's got a terrible name compared to me. Alright, so Critterwood, my opponent, who's a loyal friend versus a criminal. It's criminal how effective my defense was against him, actually. So, we've got on the top, you guys didn't see any of this, so he failed twice against Commander Luke. That's all he did in terms of failing. Otherwise, you know, you guys can look at the teams for yourselves. That Rex, Barris, Fives team is everywhere these days. So on the bottom, I'll just show you guys, but he only attacked Padme, he failed once and quit, and everything else he just left alone. So Jedi Master Luke, Jedi Knight Luke, crew, the hero bros, etc. Finn and Poe and backup Finn. So then up top is where we did the most damage. So Hux took 3 to get through. Wow. Took 4 to get through my Bosk team. The Geos were one shot. Grievous even got a kill. And then, of course, the worst team in the entire world, the Maul team, did not get a hold. No idea what banners it got. At what point it was killed. He probably just used Jawas or something equally mundane. So he also beat my fleets, which are the 2 top meta fleets in the game right now. I don't think he got great banners, but he did one-shot both of them. So in the end, I got the win. Huge shout out to my opponent for attacking before my stream. And yeah, guys, I'm gonna leave you here. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth tries to adapt to the changes that have been forced upon him. Stay tuned for that one next time, guys. Oh, please leave a like. I would appreciate it. Thank you once again. Good night.